By the way, I know the underscore Mersh account on YouTube. We got to watch this guy. You've got the Mersh effect. I was in Steel Toe's chat tonight, and I was asking if he acknowledged the fact that his attempt to get Ethan Ralph thrown in jail backfired. And in fact, the announcement came out this evening, actually. Ralph, the state of Minnesota, Stearns County, has graciously offered me a plea deal for the contempt of court charge concerning the Aaron Imholt hearing coverage. I've decided to accept it. It will be turned in tonight and submitted tomorrow. Merry Christmas. Nice try, Snitch. Nice try, Snitchy boy. So I went in the chat earlier and I'm like, has he acknowledged that his plan backfired and now everybody knows he's a snitch? But Ralph's just going to pay a fine and move on with his life. And there's a few people in there that are like steel toe enablers, which I'm amazed. Like that numero uno Josh Denny fan guy. There's some other person in there. There's like 2 steel toe diehards in the chat that started attacking me. Guys, and this has been happening on Twitter lately. A lot of y'all go to this Reddit and it's got all this outdated information. I don't drive an old BMW anymore. I drive a slightly newer but still old Cadillac now. The Section 8. Oh, do you live in Section 8 housing still? I never accepted Section 8 funding. I lived in a very shitty apartment for 2 years. I live in a house now. A duplex, but it's still a house. But now lately the thing is one of the ways one of these guys tried to dunk on me was, oh yeah, what are you betting on tonight, Mersh? That was literally how they got me. Yeah, what are you betting on tonight, Mersh? And I knew they were trying to like goad me into like, what's that supposed? Fucking gambling degenerate. But I was like, who am I betting on tonight? I had Bucks, Knicks, Pacers, Clippers, Nuggets, Suns. Like, of course, I'm like answering it like unironically being a dick because I'm like, obviously. All right, which hockey team that I picked lost? I lost my hockey parlay. Whatever. But yeah, I was like, yeah, so that's what I'm doing. Yeah, how's your fucking Section 8? How's your BMW? And it's like they start rattling off. It's just random shit. And it's the weirdest thing. But in honor of my hockey now going. My hockey bets just went south too, so they won, right? I had the Panthers. The Panthers lost to the Penguins, 5-4. Oh God, damn it, that's ugly. That could, holy shit! You know what kind of money you could have made betting on the fucking Pittsburgh Penguins against the fucking defending Stanley Cup champs? That would have been a good bet. Who saw that coming? I have the Winnipeg Jets, who are currently losing 3-0 to the Blues, so I would have lost anyway. I had the Hurricanes, who also lost. That's impressive. I almost did a full-on. I think almost all my teams lost again. I think. Oh no, the Bruins won. I had the Bruins. They won. I think only one at 1, 2, 3, 4. I have a 5-way parlay on hockey. It was $5, but it would have won like $40. But I think I only picked one team. That was correct. So what are you gonna do? Huh? Hockey sucks, man. Hockey sucks to bet on. You can't be giving me $2 at a clip here. You got to give me more money, or I can't gamble. So you know what? I just meant to bring that up. We'll talk about it later, but. We'll get to Aaron, because Aaron said some pretty embarrassing shit tonight on his show about the things he's willing to do to get back into radio, and it's, when you're just embarrassed for somebody. Oof. All right, we need a palate cleanser before we get to the next video. Let's go. Come on. We're going to make you rich, Gino, and someday you're going to know what it's like to drive a luxury sedan, but you go to a dealership and something like me personally, I've never bought a car based on color. It's not me. In fact, I got my Cadillac at a steal because I bought the wrong color. Not like they didn't make a mistake or anything, but I bought a black SUV with black tinted windows, black fucking leather seats, black on black on black. and it was an SUV. So I waited, right? So I bought my SUV, my black Cadillac, when gas prices skyrocketed and nobody was buying SUVs. Everyone was scared of the gas price. I barely commute, so I didn't give a fuck. So I got a gas guzzling black SUV in Florida. Nobody buys black cars in Florida. So just because of the location of the car, its color, and the fact that it was an SUV and it was just considered an undesirable car for the area it was in, I got that caddy for like 26. And that was when I bought it. That thing was still like a $32,000 car. Blue Book. And this thing had really low miles too and everything. And maybe your parents should have fucking abused you a little bit, and maybe you would have learned the differences between your, and your. But you come in here with your bad grammar and tell me how we need to raise children. I grew up in an abusive household. My verbal IQ is fucking insanely high. Math, not so much. Spatial understanding, not so much. I am fundamentally retarded, but when it comes to being able to tie a tie and walk in a room and bullshit everybody and get what I need, I was raised right. You motherfuckers are soft as fuck if you think Nick Rekieta's kids were ever at any point in danger. That's where I draw the fucking line, because he had drugs in the house, in a safe, that they had to fucking, the cops had to crack. You grew up fucking soft, and you think all these other kids should grow up fucking soft. Like, yeah, I know a lot of people that grew up in way worse circumstances. I know kids right now. I know kids that I grew up with right now that go, I would suck the devil's dick to come back and reincarnate as one of Nick Rekieta's kids. I know how to make mac and cheese. I know how to do a load of fucking laundry. I had clean clothes when I was fucking 10 years old. You know why? Because I knew how to do laundry, because it was one of my chores. Like, you're fucking retarded. I know I just went on a fucking tangent about that, but I'm so sick of hearing about, like, Kiwi Farms, bro. I thought they jumped the shark when it became about, like, when it stopped being about let's observe and report on these weirdos on the internet. And Kiwi Farms jumped the shark one day when all of a sudden a dark cloud came over it. And all of a sudden their mission statement went from observe and report to, we have to destroy Ethan Ralph. And it was like, whoa, what? Wait, what? Like Ralph, and this was when Ralph was, look, he'll admit it. He'll tell you himself. Ralph was a gold mine. He was a erupting volcano daily of content. He was doing a lot of shit he shouldn't have been doing, and he'll tell you now, yeah. To Ralph's credit, he's been very much on an even keel. He's had a great year, and he's very much, if you confront him with it, he goes, yeah, you know, your boy made some mistakes. What are you gonna do? You know, he owns it, and he leans in it. He's like, yeah, I get it. And I still have a bad Zanny day here and there, but for the most part, I'm not drinking. I lost weight. I'm feeling good. I'm eating tortas and fucking marita. I'm living a good life. You know, he pulled the stick up. But at a time when Ralph was just giving you fucking dubs, it became an organizing zone for we need to fucking destroy Ethan Ralph. And anyone who won't denounce Ethan Ralph. And it became Dick Masterson. And my name got thrown in there a few times. And there was always these people like, fucking gun guards. So when Kiwi Farms jumped the shark, I knew it was a shift in the balance of, like, the force of the universe. Like, the internet was different now. Even the farms, which had been around for fucking 7 years, just stalwarts of we observe, we report, we write. Over here in our message board, in our own little hug box, we write our jokes about this asshole. It's like our own little private group chat where we're like, can you get a water submarine art? But then they had to start making things happen that weren't even gonna happen unless you made them happen. And then The Balldo, like now there's a Balldo, like the attitude of the internet changed. And at some point a long time ago, people stopped observing, reporting, and laughing at people. And it's very much for the last fucking 5 to 7 years now, it's become a culture of we need to manipulate events and pull strings. We need to make the content, not just cover the content. And it's unfortunate, but it's fostered a whole new generation of weirdos, especially during COVID, that grew up terminally online. And now people are just, again, just like the guy that came in here and was like, oh, you're Balldo watching. Am I really? Or am I just not keen on, like, you and I don't have the same end game goal. You guys want Nick Rekieta to be destroyed and crushed so that he eventually is forced to bend the knee and apologize to a bunch of parasocial, terminally online who aren't owed an apology in the fucking first place. That's what you want. What I wanted to do is laugh at Nick, get content out of it, collect super chats, goof on Nick, make fun of Aaron, make fun of April, make fun of Kayla, make fun of all of them. But at the same time, from day one, you guys have always seen what I've always said at the end of the day. Do I think there were, my opinion, you can say, allegedly and this and that. Do I think that the drugs are real? Do I think no, I think Nick, I want to see some technicality get him off, but let's be honest. My opinion, there was drugs in the house, and he got caught with drugs in the house, and he got caught with literally with his pants down. He got sloppy, and to quote Daddy Magic, in my opinion,
got a little cocky, huh? Got a little cocky in a costume.
And it happens. In my opinion, that's what I think happened. The difference between me and this new internet culture is never at any point have I said this man needs to feel pain. He's already felt pain. This has already been a humiliating, shitty experience, and he's still going through it. I would like him and the state to reach a agreed upon thing that will satisfy both parties. And what I want to see, like, the difference is at the end of the day is that you people want to see Nick Rekieta on his knees. I want to see him back on his feet. You know? I've never really had any ill will towards any. I can tell you this right now. Everybody I've covered on this show, even people I've suspected of murdering people, I have always, when I'm trolling people, when I'm fucking with Owen Benjamin, Teddy Hart, Show Me Kitties and Ham Lawyer, right? Like, even when I'm fucking with you, even when we're in an adversarial situation at that current moment, there's no screenshots of me in the last few years. Nobody sees me saying I want this person destroyed. I want their livelihoods taken away. I want them harmed. I want their kids taken. Like, I'm not like that. You know what I should have done? This was 4 years ago. You know what I should have done? I would have been like, you need to prove you're loyal to us. All right, cool. Go Jesse from Bonneville. Blood in, blood out. Just, not that he matters that much to me, but just be like slightly less headaches. You know what I mean? A couple less Uber Eats orders I gotta fucking throw in the trash the next day. You know what I mean? Like, it would have been like, I should have just done that. I should have been like, you know what? Your mission if you choose to accept it. You got Telegram. But that's why even you see the Nightwave intro we play sometimes where Owen Benjamin's like, there's some honor in that guy. And he's talking about me when I sent them an email. The big moment, the big thing that to this day people say, I snitch to the cops if you're mean to me on the internet, which is a great narrative. You'd think fucking I would have called a lot more police departments. Years ago, when Owen was going through his spiral, I was making fun of him a lot. He was easy to rile up. And the little danger zone thought it'd be a funny prank to try to get his kids taken away by CPS. And then when they did that call, and CPS was like, yeah, there's no abuse, there's nothing, there's no founded, like there's nothing. This is ridiculous, this was a waste of time, blah, blah, blah. The second step of Danger Zone's little prank, or whoever these guys were, probably Alan Powell, they literally contacted the cops and said, yeah, that was a bad faith CPS report, and we know who did it, and we've got like blah, blah, blah. There's a recording of it on Discord, planning it. And this detective contacted me and was like, hey, yeah, you're being implicated in a, you know, and it wouldn't have been a big crime. It would have been just like misuse of 911, which if they could have ever proved that, if I did do it, it would have taken a misdemeanor. But I was like, the fuck are you talking about? So yeah, it was they implicated me. And then I went, no, this is some gay ops bull. And this was back when nobody knew who I was. A lot more people know who I am now. This was back when it was so easy to narrow down like 3 people who wanted to both fuck with me and fuck with Owen. It was a very short list of people. So yeah, once I answered all the detective's questions, and once she was like, yeah, I don't really think it was you, I'm like, yeah, no, and I know who probably set up both things, and I gave her fucking 3 names, and fuck that. To this day, I stand on that shit. Don't send cops after me. And by the way, if the cops get sent to me and you didn't do it, but you're one of those people my brain goes to immediately, then that means you're acting in a way where I got no problem sending the cops to you either. But I'll be like, yeah, here's a psycho who's written me a lot of weird shit. Go check that guy out. Oh, Ralph's here. Shout out to Ralph. Thank you, Killstream, for rating. Shout out to the Ralph Female. Ralph just missed like what? I mean, how often do I talk about Ralph? As often as he talks about me, which is like never, you know what I mean? Oh, Ralph missed a great fucking rant like an hour ago. I was going off about the Kiwi Farms and how they jumped the shark with you, and then now with Rekieta, and just what a fucking joke. I would have saved that rant for 20 minutes later because now Ralph's here. Oh, you missed it, Ralph. It was a doozy. You'll never see it though, because my listeners are all lazy and nobody clips this show and does anything cool to help my career. Yeah, no, I was just talking about how, because somebody in the chat brought up me being a Balldo washer. And I was like, yeah, and a Gunt guard and a Balldo washer. I'm all these things. Just because... Yeah, you'll see it. You'll hear the rant. I can't go on the rant a second time. But as long story short, I was just ranting about how they've become a religion where they just want to crucify people literally and figuratively for like living their lives. But these people have no lives. Whereas guys like us, I've made fun of Rekieta. You made fun of Rekieta. I've made fun of you when you were goofing off. Rekieta made fun of you when you were goofing off. Everyone like has their turn in the barrel, except Dick somehow. Dick always escapes unscathed, but everyone gets made fun of. And the difference being, it's like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna goof on him because he made an ass of himself tonight. It happens. I made an ass of myself on Ralph's show, and it was hilarious. Like people, some nights you just, hey, you had a bad night, and we're really gonna give you the business over it. But like people that tune in, they're like, oh, you're always covering for Ralph or Rekieta, and it's like, no, I make fun of them when they do some dumb shit, but like when I'm done making fun of them, you're like, no, but why haven't we killed him yet? Like, we're gonna kill him, right? And you're like, no, I don't want anybody to die or hurt, or their kids to not have dads, or for nobody to not make money. I want everyone to make money and just make fun of, like, you know. If I ever get caught fucking, 3 sheets to the wind, all fucked up, and I'm on screen, and I catch myself on camera jacking it or something, and the whole world sees it, and it's like, all right, man. That's when you find out. who are the people that are my friends. They're going to laugh at you, and they're all going to play the clip and laugh, versus the ones that are like, so he's canceled though, right? We're going to kill him? We're going to kill his family? We're going to find out where his nephew goes to school? That kid too? And you're like, what are we doing? Let's relax. Relax, everybody. Let's just goof on him because it's a funny clip. We move on. You go, God damn, holy shit, you were in rare form the other night. And you're like, yeah, I fogged up, man. And you're like, yeah, it's funny. Dab stroke. Dab stroke's hilarious, Jim. Come on. Where is it? I have it. I have to find it. Come on. The fucking stupid female cop thing annoyed me because everybody was like, he had a second stroke. And I was like, if you watch my show, you know when I'm doing a homina. Like, oh God, the female cop didn't shoot the man. Well, I'm a robot. And people were like, oh, you're doing a stroke. No, a stroke when I do a dab is this. And then I dropped the fucking thing on the floor and broke it. That was fucked up. So yeah, that was just the rant. But like I will say, Ralph, you should be proud because for Kiwi Farms, a website that became famous for basically just a-logging Christian for all those years, for it to have evolved into this full-fledged, like, kind of cool website after that and covering all these people, you broke them. Ralph broke Kiwi Farm. Think about it. Look at the timeline. Like, look back at Kiwi Farms and think about when that place started becoming this hostile, weird, scary, like, children of the atom cult that were, like, bathed in fucking radiation all day of the internet and just wanted to kill their fucking enemies. They just became fucking lunatics. Like, it became... It's such a great... Somebody's going to write a documentary someday and study how Kiwi Farms reflected every other movement in history. Like, every movement in history. America First, the Tea Party, the MAGA thing. Like, everything eventually gets, like, infiltrated, weaponized, turned into a weird cult, and then they're just selling you fake free gold bars and bobbleheads on Rumble. So, I'm just saying, if I'm Ralph, I would take pride in knowing I was the moment that Kiwi Farms were like, it went from observe and report, let's laugh at these dumbasses, to just fucking kill him. Ethan Ralph has to die. It's like, whoa, what happened? I thought he just got drunk and zanned out, and then, like, you know, he got kicked out of an Uber, and then he got in a fist fight somewhere, and like, I thought we were just gonna play those videos and laugh and be like, man, he had a bad day, but wait, what happened? And they're like, no, we're reporting him to Interpol. And you're like, for what? For sex trafficking. And you're like, for what? Well, his wife was pregnant and they crossed the border. So technically, you could make an argument that the unborn baby is an underage living being and that they're sex trafficking. And you're like, what? All right, you guys are really just, why don't you just sit back and let him do his thing? And like the way it always was, which is like, yeah, like us on the internet are always just going to fuck up at some point. And then when somebody butt fumbles, everybody watches the butt fumble. And we're like, haha, Mark Sanchez, you're an idiot today. And then you forget, next week, somebody's going to throw a pick six like a and you're going to go, we forgot all about that guy. So it's just move on. But yeah, when it became like, he needs to die, his bloodline needs to end, and then we must kidnap his son and take him far into the north to be raised as a warden of House Stark. And you're like, what are you doing? This is getting really gay. I just wanted to make fun of him because he got drunk and forgot where his car keys were, and he dropped his gun on the ground. I thought that was funny. I thought Anthony Cumia, by the way, who I think is an absolute, I will say it, I wrote an article where there is credible evidence of a pattern of my being attracted to minors. And Anthony Cumia was caught getting catfished because he thought he was flirting with a 14-year-old girl back in the day. I think there's some dark shit there, which is why I would never do shit with Cumia. However, versus like an Owen Benjamin. Like people go, would you have Anthony Cumia on to bury the hatchet? No. No, because I think there's a darkness to Cumia that doesn't exist in Owen Benjamin. Owen's just a fucking bipolar. But like Owen Benjamin is just a guy that won the genetic lottery. He happened to be born and happened to be a guy who's just funny enough that he's funny, but he's funny when you factor in how good looking and tall he is. You know what I mean? That's what got Owen. Like, you just don't get guys that are that tall and then decent looking and then also, like, not funny, but, like, passively funny. And then, like, whereas Cumia's a genius, but Cumia's literally done shit where I go, that's dark and disgusting and gross. And I've heard stories, and I wrote an article that, to this day, he swore he was going to sue me over and never did. Guess he didn't want to go to Discovery over that. But even when Cumia did his fucking, you know, the DUI thing and not the DUI, but the fucking domestic violence thing, like, that was hilarious. That's some of the funniest shit ever. And again, if there was an Ethan Ralph tape in Mexico of body cam footage, which would be, honestly, I would have to watch that and we would all, if like Ralph had like a similar incident in Mexico and the body cam footage came out, which I don't even know if they have body cams in Mexico, but it'd be funny. It would be so funny. I would be watching it, especially since everybody would be speaking Spanish. Just seeing Ralph like pantsless trying to find a gun, like you would have to laugh at that and go, this is a funny video. But then again, there's that side of the internet that goes, can we get him extradited back to America and then make it an international incident and get Trump to charge him as a terrorist? And you're like, why? It's just funny. Why don't you just watch the video where they're arresting him in his tighty whities and just laugh and just go, all right, that was funny. It's a good night. I hope he's all right. The end of the day is, the point being, what happened to the days where us internet had the same approach that guys just had when you were all friends with each other in real life, right? Where it's laughing at the misfortunes of people, not because you hate them, but because, like, if you're hanging out at a barbecue and you see Ralph or Nick Rekieta get hit in the nuts with a football, or you see me get hit in the nuts with a football, it's funny. It's the classic, haha, you got hit in the nuts, you dumb That's hilarious. How'd it feel getting hit in the nuts, right? Like, and it's funny. And it's funny for like 5 minutes and everybody calms down. But it's almost like a Tim Robinson sketch. Nobody except internet people would bring it up an hour later at the party, right? Like, everyone's hanging out, food's coming out, music's playing, now everybody's in the pool, and then somebody comes up to you and they're like, hey man, you remember an hour ago? You remember when that fucking football hit you in the nuts? Remember that shit like an hour ago? And you're like, yeah. He's like, well, yeah, man. Hey, touchdown. Am I right? Huh? And everyone's like, what are you talking about? Oh, I was just telling him, remember when he got a hit an hour ago in the nuts with the football? And everyone's like, yeah, that was kind of funny. That was kind of funny an hour ago. It was cool. Yeah, it was funny. We laughed. You know what I mean? We laughed. I don't know why are we still speculating 2 years later on a message board about the trajectory of the football and how it may have affected, how it shifted his nuts, and then how it might affect his future kids because of his nuts shifting from the foot. It's like, all right, now you might be losing your fucking mind now. Might be getting a little boop boop. As opposed to just in the moment going, yeah, fucking football in your nuts, dude. How's that feel? And everybody's like, ha ha. And then, yeah, you move on. But the difference is these internet people are now like a year later. They're like a guy that you go to a pool party a year later. It's 4th of July. And then next 4th of July, 1 year to the day, everybody's at a party and your friend goes, hey, yo, you remember 1 year ago? It was 1 year ago to this day, remember? You remember when that football hit you in the nuts for 5 seconds? Remember that? Bro. You remember that? You remember that football of the nuts? And everyone's like, yeah, that was okay, man. That was funny, but like, why? Nobody cares anymore. Go back to this crazy lady. I'm rambling. Thank God somebody donated because holy shit. You know what's not happening? The Nuggets are winning. That's good. I got fucked tonight. If the Indiana Pacers had won, we would have been in better shape. But we got kind of fucked on that one. So we have the Clippers are winning by 3. Nuggies are winning by 2.